Little known fact about me, actually, little known fact about the entire company, we're all queer. Well, almost all of us. There's this one guy who's not, and he does our taxes, but everyone else in the company is queer. So if you like what we do here and have anything negative to say about queer people, you're saying that shit about us. And gay people have always been here, whether you've seen us or not.
Gay?
Queer people?
Hey, we talking about gay people over here?
Yeah, do you guys want to do this video with me?
Yeah.
Absolutely I do.
Nah, that sounds fucking boring. I'm gonna go do something else.
Oh, okay. Well, Benny and Hannah, why don't you eat saltines in the corner or something? I need to info dump real quick. The first depiction of queer people was on a cave wall, somewhere between 9000 and 5000 BCE, in the Grotto dell'Adara in southern Italy. I would like to formally apologize for how I pronounce everything in this video. I am a victim of the American education system. This grotto was used to store munitions during World War II, and after an accidental explosion, these carvings were discovered. At least, that's the official story. Supposedly, these carvings were actually discovered by treasure hunter Giovanni Cusimano, who showed it off to some friends. I don't know which one of these stories is true, but they're both kind of sick. Either this place was discovered by an eccentric treasure hunter, or they were discovered when shit blew up. I don't really care which one is true, those are both fucking cool. After their discovery, they were excavated and studied by Joel Bovio Marcioni. This woman was amazing. Oh my god, not subject of this essay, but holy shit, what a powerhouse. I'm gonna leave my sources for the essay linked in the description for anyone interested in reading more about her, but we've gotta keep moving. This is about the gays. These carvings are described as such. The male figures are all bare-bodied, in the act of dancing or standing, with well-pronounced muscular mass that highlights the buttocks, legs, and calves, while the hands and feet are completely missing. Oh my god, even ancient artists hated drawing the hands. They're so real for that. What exactly is depicted on these walls is kind of a mystery to the modern eye, but many scholars, including Joel Bovio Marcioni, believe these carvings depict a homoerotic image of two males. You know, you've just got to picture some horny caveman shipping erotica into a cave wall and think, goddamn, humans really have never changed, huh? Do you know how horny you have to be to carve your desires into a rock wall? There's a lot of these too! Like, this dude was going at it! And if you've ever met a gay man, yeah, that tracks. Unfortunately, even with these caves closed to the public, they've fallen into a state of disrepair and have been marred by vandalism. So these carvings that have already been ravaged by time are now being ravaged by the ire of the modern day degenerate. This is the oldest depiction of same-sex couplings, roughly 10,000 years before our time. Are you kidding? That's crazy! Okay, the gays, here. Queer, clearly not going anywhere. But my babies, what about the transes? Surely the idea of transitioning is relatively new, right? Look at the length of this video. You think I came here to talk out of my ass? I was elbow deep on an Italian website about cave carving. Sit down, take your juice box, and listen to mama for a second. We have depictions of what many scholars describe as a third sex, going back another couple thousand years. It was not uncommon in the ancient world to see depictions of people with variations of male and female genitalia. And don't be fooled by the term third sex. In the ancient world, third is used in place of other, meaning some cultures had a fourth and fifth sex. Researchers in Prague found a 5,000-year-old male skeleton buried with funeral arrangements for a female, meaning this body was likely a transgender individual. Not only that, that identity was respected by their community, judging by how this person was buried. You can't bury yourself, meaning after death, somebody dressed this body and set up funeral arrangements honoring how this person wished to be viewed in life. There are no surgeries, there is no hormone replacement, meaning this person said, I may have a male body, but I am a woman. And their community said, yes, you are. Obviously, we don't know the intricacies of these ancient people's lives. We don't know what pushback they received or how well they lived their lives. We only have these small pieces of people, a handprint on history. But that hand is pointing us towards a history that so many people have been trying to tell us doesn't exist. But the facts tell us that this is just not true. And I thought facts don't care about your feelings. I could go on about the amount of queer people who have been misgendered or just straight up erased from history. Like the trans Roman emperor. Did you know there was a trans Roman emperor? Her name was Elagabalus, and she explicitly said, Call me not Lord, for I am a lady. I don't know how you can get much more explicit than that, and there are still historians arguing over what to call her and misgendering her in their research, but we have to move on. We have to move on. The point of all of this is just to establish that queer people have existed for at least the last 10,000 years, minimum. And this is just recorded history. We don't write everything down, and we sure as hell like to burn and bury queer writings. But I have kept a secret from you, dear listener. Yes, this whole time, you have been played for a fool. You've been watching gay shit your entire life, and you didn't even know it. You might have had an inkling, a fluttering in the back of your mind, wondering, has a gay person touched this? And the answer is yes. The answer is always yes.
Okay, is Ariel a queer icon? No. I would argue no. Her story is very straightforward, pun intended, so unclutch your pearls, dear listener. I am not going to make the argument that Ariel is queer. But her songs are. Let's dive in, shall we? The lyrics for Part of Your World were written by Howard Ashman. A gay man, yes, but like so many queer people, he was way more than that. For starters, he was a creative through and through, joining the Children's Theatre Association at the age of 5 and becoming entrenched in theater until the day he died. He was a poet, a chef, a painter, and a songwriter. Actually, you can thank Howard Ashman for giving us the voice of Ariel in more ways than one. You see, Jodie Benson starred in his musical Smile, and when Ashman started working on The Little Mermaid, he tapped her to voice Ariel, which, if you're a Disney adult like me, you might already know. Let's just pick a random little song that Ariel sang. How about Part of Your World? Part of your world. Sorry, I can't play the song, but you guys, you know it. I'll spare you. Part of Your World, on the surface, is an I Want song about Ariel longing to be a part of a world that she has been shut out from. And it's here that I want to remind you that Howard Ashman was an openly gay man in the 1980s. I feel like the 80s are seen as a really fun time in American society, but let me tell you who it wasn't fun for. Queer people. Here's just a little taste of what the US was like at the time that he was writing this song. Homosexual activity was banned for most of Ashman's life, only becoming legal in 1983. Gay men were banned nationwide from donating blood for fear that any gay man may be carrying HIV. In Oklahoma, it was made law that HIV/AIDS education state that homosexual activity is a primary responsible cause for contact with the HIV/AIDS virus. And guess what, gang? This law has never been repealed. This is especially hard to read knowing that Ashman died of AIDS complications in 1991 at the age of 40. And, we can't get too deep into the AIDS discussion here because let me tell you, I could go off about how horribly queer people were treated during the AIDS epidemic. But we must stay focused. Mermaids. Mermaids. We're talking about mermaids. Still, keep these tidbits about Ashman's life in mind as I read to you the opening line of Part of Your World. Yes, I'm reading it. No, I'm not singing it, even if I really want to. Okay, for realsies. Maybe he's right. Maybe there is something the matter with me. I don't know about you, but I don't see a mermaid when I read that. I see the writer behind the mermaid struggling between being true to himself and conforming to a world that is actively hostile to who he is. And yet, the very next line is, I just don't see how a world that makes such wonderful things could be bad. Despite living in a world that is actively passing laws and spewing propaganda to stop you from living your life as you truly are, Ashman still saw the beauty in it. He still wanted to belong. Alright, next lines. Wander and free, wish I could be part of that world. Queer people disproportionately struggle with rejection. Rejection from society, family, maybe even people who you thought you could call friends. Every queer person has a story of rejection due to their queer identity. You learn to hide it. You learn who it's safe to be honest around. Everyone else gets a sanitized version of you. That's the version that keeps you safe. You feel like you're looking through glass at a world that you've been barred from. You don't know when you were shut out or how everyone else got to the other side, but you look through that glass and think, when's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore up above? Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that world. Many of the lyrics for this song were written to be specifically about a mermaid swimming around her cavern and longing to explore the human world. But throughout the song, we see pieces of Ashman longing to be part of a world that he's been shut out from since the moment he was born. This song hits so hard because it hits on a very human feeling: the need to belong. For the majority of Ashman's life, being an out gay man stopped him from belonging. Some of the best art is bred out from pain, and I don't know about you, but I don't see a mermaid. I see a man looking through the glass.
Alright, if you're a queer person watching this, I'm sure you're rolling your eyes, but this is surprising for many straight people, okay? Give them a minute. Yeah, The Matrix is a trans allegory. Why do I know that? Because the people who made it are trans women, and they literally said that. Let's get into it. In recent years, the term red pill has been co-opted by alt-right extremists and manosphere pundits, quoting it as a means of leaving our mundane reality for the real world. Speaking to those red-pilled alpha males, guys, the red pill in the Matrix means transitioning. Okay, you're talking about transitioning, dumbass. You don't even realize it. But by saying you're red-pilled, what you're saying to the world is, yeah, I'm beginning my transition. And whether you intended to say that or not, that's what being red-pilled actually means. And you know what? Good for you. We're all on our own journey, and congratulations on coming out. But don't take my word for it. Let me see here. I'll just show you the director's own words here.
Hello, Lilly Wachowski here. I'm glad that it has gotten out that, that was the original intention, but the world wasn't quite ready at a corporate level. The corporate world wasn't ready for it. So for me and Lana, we were existing in this space where the words didn't exist. So we were always living in a world of imagination. It's why I gravitated towards science fiction and fantasy and, played Dungeons and Dragons. I think in our transness, we were always trying to, in queerness, incorporate as many things as possible. It's just trying to visualize within, a much larger, infinite scope of the imagination.
It's no mistake that the pill is red in the Matrix. The pill for estrogen hormone therapy, which is what trans women take to chemically transition to a woman, was red in the 1990s. Some fans have even speculated that the blue pill represented Prozac, a blue pill at the time and often prescribed to trans women in denial about being trans. But it goes deeper than that. It's not just about the pills, it's the entire story. The Matrix represents conformity. It's the structure of a man's life with a wife, 2 kids, a house, picket fence, and a dog with no room for questions. You work your job, keep your head down, and are expected to be happy with that life. This is a rigid structure that's put in place, and if you have the audacity to question that structure, you're the problem. Look, I get it. This can represent a lot of things, but for the directors of the movies who were, at the time, 2 closeted trans women, it represented the compulsion to be cisgender and straight. Ooh, I said the spooky words. Oh, cisgender, straight. Oh, we might have to listen to words that describe ourselves. I think it's also pertinent to remember that this movie was created in the 90s. Words like straight were just starting to enter the popular lexicon. And cisgender? Forget about it. People were freaking out about an openly gay woman being on TV at all. Ain't no one talking about words like cis and trans. It's also important to remember that just because these words are new to you doesn't mean they're new concepts overall. Hell, when Sophia was writing the script, I had asked her what several of these words mean. Does that mean those words didn't exist before she wrote them? No! I didn't have to ask you. I'll say that. I knew what these words meant. What? I know this. I know this. Woman, tell me I'm stupid. I know this.
I know. I wrote this part too. I've written everything you've ever said, Benny.
What? No, get out of my head. Get out of my head! I'm about to say some really long words, but stick with me here. So, the Matrix represents compulsive heteronormativity and cisgender normativity, or, in Unga Bunga terms, the assumption that being straight and cisgender are the default, the normal way to be. The only way to truly be yourself without fear of retaliation is to leave the Matrix, to find something that's real and messy and feels like somewhere you actually want to be. The real world represents embracing queerness, a space where you can be and do what you want, free of judgment. The only threat is that from the Matrix, from the people who see what you're doing as wrong. Even the names have queer meaning. In the Matrix, Neo is referred to by his dead name, Mr. Anderson. The people who have broken out of the Matrix, his chosen family, and those who accept who he truly is, call him by his chosen name, Neo. The last thing I'm going to point out, Switch was originally supposed to be played by 2 actors, one male and one female. In the Matrix, they would have been male. And in the real world, Switch would have been female, hence the name Switch. When Belinda McClory auditioned for the role, she was actually only auditioning for half of the role, the version of the character in the real world. But this is the 90s, and we can't even say the word trans without someone clutching their pearls in the big 2026. Imagine how hard it was to represent trans people in the 1990s. So, Warner Brothers pulled the plug, and Switch was a woman inside and outside the Matrix. Although, I do think her androgynous look was a very purposeful decision. One more act of rebellion from the Wachowski sisters. So, The Matrix is a queer story written, directed, and created by queer people. I don't know how a bunch of dude bros saw this movie and thought I was talking about them, but like I said, congrats to the guys in the manosphere on the transition. Oh, sorry. Did not mean to misgender you. For you red-pilled gals in the manosphere? Ladies? You know, actually, just let me know your pronouns in the comments. See, we're respectful here.
Okay, another low-hanging fruit, but I feel it's important we at least address this. Fight Club was written by a gay man as a critique of masculinity, taking masculine performance to its extreme to show the viewer how ridiculous the whole concept of a fight club is. However, you'd be forgiven for misinterpreting this if you've only seen the movie. The movie cuts a lot of the nuance and queer coding that you find in the book. If you're familiar with any media ever, this won't surprise you. The Great Gatsby book also has a lot of queer coding, even insinuating that the main character had a sexual relation with a man at one point, which was, of course, cut from the movie adaptation. Are we starting to see a pattern here? It's not uncommon for queer stories to be sanitized for a straight audience. So much so that, in the case of Fight Club, the story is misinterpreted as almost glorifying the thing it's supposed to be critiquing. Sure, Fight Club the movie still critiques masculinity, but if you only engage with the story on a surface level, you can see how someone would mistake this story as being a celebration of it. And, of course, your audience comes to that conclusion when you remove the queer element. The narrator beats up Angelface because Tyler takes an interest in him. In the book, he's fixated on how pretty Angelface is, and while the narrator writes off his aggression as needing to destroy something beautiful, I think he's attracted to this man and would rather beat his ass than admit that to himself. This is a real documented phenomenon called the gay panic defense. This is a legitimate legal strategy that has been used to defend murder. The most famous of these cases would probably be Scott Amadore, who was murdered after confessing his love to his male friend on the Jenny Jones show. 3 days after the show, that male friend shot and killed Amadore. At the trial, despite killing Amadore 3 days after the taping, the male friend claimed he suffered diminished capacity due to gay panic disorder. Apparently, it's not premeditated murder if the person you're killing is gay. By the way, the gay panic defense almost never works to clear your name. It's just a bullshit excuse to try and justify violent homophobia and transphobia. The gay panic defense was used as recently as 2015 when Daniel Spencer was stabbed and murdered by his neighbor. His neighbor claimed he acted in self-defense, that Spencer made advances on him and became violent when turned down. Physical evidence later disproved that the defendant was even in danger. When we look at the narrator beating the stuffing out of Angelface, are we sure it's just because he wanted to destroy something beautiful? Or did he specifically try to mar his face because he can't admit to himself that he's attracted to this man? The narrator is also obsessed with Tyler. Just guys being dudes, right? No, not right. I am very affectionate with my same-sex friends, but I wouldn't chase them around the country. There is no heterosexual explanation for this. Instead of Fight Club being a story critiquing these men going to such extremes to avoid their own gay thoughts, it just becomes a movie about dudes fighting? And look how cool it is when dudes fight! Yeah, get 'em. Yeah. It's also a critique of consumerism and toxic hypermasculinity, but the flavor of fighting to cover up gay urges is not terribly present. Removing that vital element changes the entire perception of the story. It starts to look a lot like a celebration of the peak performance of masculinity. And it is a performance. All gender is a performance. Would you disagree with me when I say that? Then let me ask you this question. What makes you a man? Is it your dick and balls? Sorry, that's not YouTube friendly. Is it your bits? Your dangly bits between your legs? Is that what makes you a man? What about a cancer survivor who lost his testicles? Is he no longer a man? What about a veteran who lost his magic pogo stick? God, I hate the censorship on this platform. His dick. He lost his dick. Does that make him less of a man? Both of these men exist and would need hormone replacement therapy to supplement the testosterone their body no longer produces. Does that mean they're no longer men? No, I would say no, because I'm respectful. So it's not your bits and pieces that make you a man. So what is it that makes you a man? Your muscle mass? Does that mean a muscular woman is not a woman? Is there a point that a woman can have so many masculine traits that she becomes a man? Or can she like NASCAR, weightlifting, fishing, and any number of masculine activities and still feel like a woman? So what is it? Your hobbies? Your job? The colors you like? What if a woman likes those things too? What if a woman who identifies as a woman and likes being a woman works the same job as you? Maybe you guys even bond over your love of action movies. Is she no longer a woman because she works the same job as a man and likes the things men like? No, that's ridiculous, right? The more you break down that question, the harder it is to come to a satisfying conclusion. What we're left with is there are no set rules for what makes you the gender that you are. And remember, we have a plethora of evidence of cultures with more than just the binary male and female gender. Is it so hard to believe someone when they tell you who they are? That's what Fight Club is tackling. What is it that makes you a man? If you feel the urge to spend your nights in a basement with a bunch of other sweaty, shirtless men, maybe you should explore what that means a little bit. Fight Club, the actual club, not the story, says what makes you a man is how strong you are, how good you can take a punch. When modern society has castrated you, how do you reclaim your own masculinity? And what if the conclusion you come to still doesn't make you happy? Also, the author is gay. You think a gay man isn't gonna write a gay story? Ooh! Hear that sound? That means it's time for Is It Gay?
Time to play Is It Gay? For the purposes of this game, no, I can't do it that fast. Maybe we can speed my audio up, actually. Let's do that. Let's speed the audio up in post. That'd be fun for this bit here.
For the purposes of this game, I will be using the terms queer and gay interchangeably for no reason other than the title Is It Gay sounds way funnier.
Now, there are right and wrong answers to these questions. All incorrect answers will be punished with a 3-second kiss from someone of the same sex.
Ooh, can I answer wrong on purpose?
No.
Aww.
First movie, White Chicks. Is it gay?
Gay. 100% gay. The leads spend the majority of that movie in drag.
That is correct.
Are there points for this game? How do we win?
Next question. The Lighthouse. Is it gay?
Yes, obviously.
Correct.
That movie is practically vibrating with horny gay thoughts.
Please do not interrupt me.
I didn't.
Next question. Wicked.
The stage musical or the movie adaptation?
Yes. Is it gay?
Yes. Even if Elphaba and Glinda weren't actively f***ing, there was definitely some serious sapphic yearning going on.
Correct.
Has every answer been gay?
Yeah, it's all coming up gay so far.
Next question. Mulan. Is it gay?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, good try. But the answer we were looking for was actually yes. It is gay.
Really? What makes Mulan gay?
While not an explicitly queer story, many trans people resonate with the story of performing as a gender other than the one they were assigned at birth. Cross-dressing has been extremely common throughout history, from theater to disguising your gender to access opportunities that you would otherwise be barred from. Also, trans people, believe it or not, have existed since always.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Next question. The Little Mermaid. Is it gay?
I already did this one. Yes, it's gay.
That is correct!
Not Ariel,
But
though.
for this answer, I'm going to need you to specify what we didn't already cover.
Oh, me!
Yes, you are gay.
No, I have an answer.
Go ahead.
Ursula was designed after a drag queen, specifically Divine the drag queen.
That is correct.
Isn't that kind of like problematic, making queer people the villains in movies?
Yes, but we don't have time to unpack that.
Our last question. Die Hard. Is it gay?
It's gotta be yes. All the other ones have been yes.
Right? That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But the answer we're looking for was no. Die Hard may in fact be the straightest movie ever conceived.
I wouldn't know. I've never watched it.
Me neither.
I haven't either, and I never intend to. Well, that concludes our segment of Is It Gay? Thanks again for playing. We'll see you next time.
Wait, so who wins?
How did you do that?
Do what?
Shut up! Everyone shut up! We're ending this video! It's been going on for long enough! I know this is all a lot to take in, and if you're a queer person, you probably already knew at least some of this information. It's a heavy burden to bear, the knowledge that who you are, who your loved ones are, have been targeted left, right, and center, legislated out of existence. I felt called to make this video because, well, I probably don't need to tell you why. But I'm going to anyway, so buckle up, buckaroo. It's about to get real sad again. The Trump administration and conservatives as a whole are lying about what queer people do in an effort to erase them from public life. From denying passports to canceling driver's licenses to bathroom bans. My entire adult life, I have watched these people chip away at the rights that we have fought so hard to gain. As a woman, I've lost my right to bodily autonomy and access to life-saving healthcare. I know queer people who are afraid of losing their right to get married. And you can't say that's ridiculous, that'll never happen. Because that's what people said about overturning Roe v. Wade, too. I know trans people who are afraid to travel because they aren't sure they'll be able to come home. Some of them can't go home. I know it feels bleak, but we've been here before. Sometimes you read the news and feel like you're up against an insurmountable villain. You're not. First things first, that dumbass in office keeps losing in court. They might move fast and break things, but they're getting dragged through the mud when that mess gets brought in front of a judge. And there's more hope than the news is telling you about. You have to dig a little to find it, but I promise it's out there. As far as what you can do, find community. Whether that's online or your local gay bar, find other queer people and get involved. Maybe that's activist work, maybe that's just feeding your soul by hanging out with other queer people. In times like this, I think of this quote from the height of the AIDS epidemic. "We buried our friends in the morning. We protested in the afternoon, and we danced all night. And it was the dance that kept us in the fight, because the dance was what we were fighting for. So dance. Don't let these ugly, stinky bastards take your joy. They don't deserve it. You know where you can find a bunch of gay people to talk to? In our Discord. I got you. It was a plug the whole time. No, I'm kidding. You can also use Reddit or Timey. Diversify where you find your community. I promise there's a bunch of gay little freaks out there somewhere who feel the same way you do. Hell, there's a bunch of gay little freaks right here. Subscribe, tell a friend about us, and support a queer small business. All right, fellas, I think we've gated up enough in here.
Yeah, subscribe to our queer little channel.
Yes, subscribe, tell a friend. Your favorite queer is here at Cascade.
Favorite who? What? Who's a favorite?
It's me. I'm the favorite, obviously.
Is the demon queer?
I haven't asked, actually.
Would he want to be part of this video?
Absolutely not.